Okay, imagine this. A war breaks out somewhere you don't expect. The banks, they just close overnight. You run to an ATM, it's empty. Now, you've got cash, maybe a lot of it, stuffed under the mattress. But here is the truly terrifying part. Every single day, that money buys less, and then less, and then less. Look, this isn't some movie plot. This really happened in Germany, in Zimbabwe, in Venezuela. It's happening right now in some places around the world.
So it begs the question, right? What actually keeps its value when everything completely falls apart? Well, today, we're going to break down 5 assets that can survive wars, crashes, you name it, chaos. These are assets that pretty much laugh in the face of inflation. Let's dive in.
All right, let's play this out. Quick fire. First, boom, a war breaks out. Instability just spreads like a virus. Next, the whole financial system just locks down. Suddenly, you can't get to your own money. It's gone, cut off.
And just like that, all the money you worked your whole life for, it's basically just colorful pieces of paper. This is the nightmare scenario we're going to pick apart today.
So, to make this real, let's talk about a guy we'll call Alex. Now, Alex did everything you're supposed to do. He worked hard, he saved his money, he put it all in the bank. Alex felt smart, secure, safe. And then, one morning, everything changed. The banks just froze. He couldn't get a single dollar of his own money out.
And even when the banks finally did open back up, his savings bought almost nothing. So why? Why did this happen? Well, when countries get into a panic, they do one thing. They print money. Lots and lots of it. And when you have way more money chasing the exact same amount of stuff, prices don't just rise, they explode. And the value of your cash, it just shrinks into nothing.
Think of it like this, okay? It's a pizza analogy. You and 9 of your friends, you all want to buy a pizza. You each have $10. The pizza costs $50. Easy enough. But now, imagine everyone suddenly has $100. Does that pizza get cheaper? No way. The pizza guy's not an idiot. That pizza now costs $500. That, my friends, is inflation. And in a time of war, it's like inflation on steroids.
Don't believe me? Let's look at Germany. 1923. A single loaf of bread cost 200 billion marks. It got so bad, people were literally wallpapering their homes with cash because it was cheaper than buying actual wallpaper. Can you even imagine that?
Or look at Zimbabwe, 2008. The government printed a $100 trillion bill. And you know what it could buy you? Not even a carton of eggs. And this isn't just ancient history. Right now, in places like Venezuela, you have doctors and lawyers digging through the trash just to find food.
So, Alex learned a really hard, really important lesson. In a real crisis, cash is just paper. But some things hold on to their value no matter what's happening in the world. And here they are, the 5 survivor assets: gold, land, farmland, hard commodities, and the one that you already have, your own skills.
All right, first up, the granddaddy of them all, the ultimate crisis asset, gold. We're talking 5,000 years of history here. Empires have risen, empires have fallen into dust. And gold, it's still valuable. Why? It's actually pretty simple. You can't print more gold. You can't just fake it. And pretty much everyone, everywhere on Earth, agrees that it has value. A Roman soldier 2,000 years ago got paid about 1 ounce of gold for a month of work. Today, 1 ounce of gold buys you a really nice suit. It's the same purchasing power. During World War II, families escaped the horrors with gold coins sewn into the linings of their coats. That gold bought them safe passage. It bought them survival. Their cash would have been worthless paper in a new country. But gold speaks every language. Now here's the catch. Gold doesn't pay you interest. It just sits there. But in a crisis, just sitting there and holding its value, well, that's the entire point.
Asset number 2 is literally the ground beneath our feet, land. And here's the trick to it. They're not making any more of it. Mark Twain said it best, buy land. They're not making any more of it.
Think about it. Buildings can burn down, but the land itself, the land survives every single war, every government, every currency collapse. After World War II, the German families who still owned land, they rebuilt. The families who only had cash, well, they had nothing. And here's the magic part. Land gives you options. You can grow food, you can build a shelter, you could collect rent. Cash just sits there in a burning building we call inflation.
And this brings us right to asset number 3, farmland. Or more specifically, the ability to grow your own food. Let's get back to basics. What do you actually need to survive? Food, water, shelter. Everything else, it's just extra.
When the Soviet Union collapsed, you had people in fancy city apartments literally starving, but the people who had a small garden out back, They ate. It's no secret that billionaire investors are buying up farmland like crazy right now. I mean, Bill Gates is the biggest private owner of farmland in America. They know something we should all know. When paper money fails, food becomes king. And look, you don't need a 1,000-acre farm. A small garden, some basic knowledge, that is an insurance policy no bank can ever offer you.
Okay, asset number 4. This is the stuff people actually need to live. We're talking hard commodities, fuel, medicine, batteries, tools, water filters. In a serious crisis, these things literally become a new form of currency. In Venezuela, people were trading a single can of tuna for a full day's work. A bottle of antibiotics? That could get you a car. Just think about the simple things you use every single day. Now imagine all the stores are empty. How much would you be willing to pay for them then? This is why the smartest preppers don't just stockpile cash. They stockpile usefulness. Extra soap, first aid supplies, seeds, hand tools. These aren't just for you in an emergency, they are investments. When money dies, barter is what comes back to life, and you can only barter with stuff that people actually want. Now this 5th asset, it might surprise you. It weighs nothing, it takes up 0 space, and it can never, ever be stolen from you. It's your skills, your knowledge, your ability to do useful things. In every major crisis in history, the survivors had one thing in common, and it wasn't wealth, it was usefulness. The doctor always finds a way to eat. The mechanic can always trade for what he needs. The builder will always have shelter. See, money's just a promise from a government, a promise that can be broken. Skills, on the other hand, are proof. Proof that you are useful. Things like first aid, basic repairs, growing food, purifying water. These skills couldn't care less about a currency crash. The absolute best investment you can ever make is in making yourself useful for when the world goes a little crazy.
Okay, so here's where it all clicks into place. Alex, our guy from the beginning, he had a powerful realization. These assets, they're not standalone things. They all work together.
You use gold for trade, land for long-term security, farmland for food, your supplies for barter, and your skills tie everything together. Having just one of these assets? Yeah, that's helpful. But having all 5 working together? That's how people survive literally anything. The families who made it through the worst times in history didn't just have one piece of the puzzle. They had a layered defense. They had a shield.
So what can you actually do about this? Right now. Look, you don't need a secret bunker or to be a billionaire. Being prepared isn't about being paranoid. It's about being practical. It's about understanding that the world is maybe a little more fragile than we like to admit. And trust me on this, being prepared beats being rich every single time.
You can start small, like really small. Buy a few gold coins, not a giant bar. Own a small piece of property, even if it's just a tiny plot in a community garden. Learn to grow some of your own food, even if it's just some tomatoes on your balcony. Stockpile a few months of the essentials you use every day. And just learn one new practical skill. Just one. Basic first aid, how to fix a leaky pipe, anything. Every little step you take adds another layer to your personal shield.
Look, we all hope things stay calm, stable, and predictable. Of course we do. But hope is not a strategy. You can think of our financial system as a giant game of musical chairs. So the final question you really have to ask yourself is this. When the music eventually stops, will you be the one left standing with nothing, or will you have a chair to sit on?